In today's video, we are going to see of how France abolished monarchy and became a republic. By now, we know that Louis XVI had agreed to the new drafted constitution, but he did it because of his weak position, not by choice. He secretly negotiated with the King of Prussia. The neighboring kings sent their troops to support Louis XVI. But before this could happen, the National Assembly declared war against Prussia and Austria. Thousands of volunteers from neighboring provinces joined the army. They saw it as a war of people against kings and aristocracies all over Europe. Revolutionary war brought lot of losses and economic difficulties. While men went to fight, women earned and took care of the family. At this time, political clubs started gaining popularity. People discussed government policies and plan of action. Women too had their own clubs. The most successful of all the clubs was Jacobins. The members of this club were less prosperous, like small shopkeepers, and artisans like shoemakers, pastry cooks, watchmakers, printers, servants, and daily wage workers. Their leader was Maximilien Robespierre. A large group within the Jacobins decided to wear long striped trousers similar to the one worn by dock workers to look different from the fashionable nobles who wore knee breeches. On 10th August 1792, the Jacobins, angered by the shortage of supplies and high prices of food, attacked the palace of Tuileries. They killed the king's guards and held the king hostage for several hours. Later, the royal family was put in prison. France went for an election. This time, the right to vote was given to all men of 21 years. The newly elected assembly was called the Convention. On 21st September 1792, France was declared republic. On 21st January 1793, Louis XVI was executed publicly at the Palace de la Concorde on the charges of betraying the country by the court. And Queen Marie Antoinette also met with the same fate later. Reign of Terror. The period from 1793 to 1794 is referred to as the Reign of Terror. This was the time when Robespierre ruled the country in the name of convention. He followed a policy of severe control and punishment. All the people whom he thought to be the enemies of republic were arrested, imprisoned, and then tried by a tribunal. A tribunal was a court introduced by the National Convention. If they were found guilty, then they were guillotined. A guillotine was a device consisting of two poles and a blade with which a person was beheaded. The enemies included ex-nobles, clergy, members of other political parties, and even members of his party who did not agree with him. He introduced some new laws like fixing the highest wage or price that one can get, rationed meat and bread. Ration means allow each person to have only a fixed amount. Peasants were forced to transport their grains to the cities and sell it at a price fixed by the government. People could not buy white flour, that is maida. For bread, they were forced to eat loaf made from whole wheat. He brought equality in speech by introducing words like citoyen and citoyenne. That means citizen instead of monsieur and madame. That means sir and madam. He shut the churches and the buildings were converted to barracks or offices. Slowly, Robespierre lost the support of his people, and finally he was convicted and guillotined in the month of July 1794. This led to the fall of Jacobin rule, that is, rule of the middle class. Now, a new constitution was introduced that denied vote to the non-propertied sections of the society. It provided for two elected legislative councils, who then appointed a directory of 5 members. This method was adopted to avoid concentration of power in the hands of one man. But the directors clashed among themselves. The political instability of the directory paved way for the rise of a military dictator, Napoleon Bonaparte.